The following program is brought to you by Podcast One Sportsnet.
Ho, ho, ho! You know, many find it hard to believe I own a sleigh that can fly. But you know what I find hard to believe? The unbelievable offers going on at the winter event.
The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is back with incredible offers on the sporty CLA, the thrilling C-Class, the versatile GLA, the safe and secure GLE, the innovative GLC, and of course, the unequaled E-Class. But hurry, because these sleighs are going fast. Visit MBUSA.com/winter event. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Direct from the heart of Lakers Nation, Podcast One Sportsnet brings you America's Lakers Podcast with Jay Mohr, the official podcast of the Los Angeles Lakers. Get the inside scoop without the gossip about your favorite team that lives up to the purple and gold standard. Here's your host, Jay Mohr.
America's Lakers Podcast, a bonus episode.
We're not in the underground tonight.
No, we're always, that's the thing. We're underground.
It's always the underground.
Jay Mohr, Aaron Larsoul at JMohr37. That is both Twitter and Instagram. We're going to play Instagram. Old fun game we used to play. You guys will enjoy it, too.
Yeah, we played it on radio, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll read you guys NBA players' Instagrams, and you have to guess who it is, and multiple choice. Aaron Larsoul at Aaron Larsoul. And
on all platforms, just as you said, on all platforms. Aaron Larsoul.
Is that diving or which platform?
Yes. Is it the 30-meter?
That's pretty high up.
Is it? Yeah, that's 90 feet. I guess it is.
I think they do it from up there anyway.
I don't know.
Speaking of
18-meter,
diving,
yeah.
Lakers not taking a dive on the road. I hate segues so much.
Well, you're not good at... Well, at least you weren't good at that one.
Speaking of diving, looked like somebody took a dive in the paint. We'll be back. I'm Chris Hansen with Lakers News.
And this is where you do, I think you call it the syllabus or syllabit S's? Is this where you do
that's
that?
a big Al Michaels one.
He does it too, right? Chris Hansen from Dateline? He does it. Is it Dateline?
It seems like
Yeah.
you came here for sex.
Right.
On the yard line, I'm Al Michaels. Look, we're feeling good. That's the name of this episode, and it's a bonus episode.
Are you going to sing for us?
Feeling good?
Yeah, some kind of something. We're feeling fine.
All right.
See?
Cohesion, playing as a team, playing well together. Now, the Lakers, with one of the most exciting games I've seen in my lifetime was the loss at home to the Philadelphia 76ers. You and I...
It was a great game.
I drove home. Like, usually you return calls. I'm just staring at the 110 like, whoa, what? Huh? And that was equally as exciting when they beat the 76ers. Alonzo, you talked about gravity.
Yes, we talked about that in a previous episode, yes.
Guys on the court, some guys have gravity. I would say Embiid, LeBron. Embiid seems to have, at least against the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, the best offensive players have it.
And Big seemed to he's Jupiter, Embiid. He actually had 5 Lakers on him on a play. But Lonzo had gravity when he drove baseline. Ingram did a good job. I was watching Laker film room. Pete broke down that game. And Ingram had the ball. Lonzo goes to the corner. He realizes that Joel Embiid did not follow Lonzo ball to the corner. Throws to Lonzo. Embiid goes to get back towards Ingram. Lonzo drives baseline. And I didn't know until the second replay, 3 guys go to stop Zoe. Like, Zoe's not known for tomahawk John Starks baseline dunks.
But this is why...
John Starks, man.
This is why... Look at the Barry Katz reference. This is why...
Llewellyn Dang.
Getting in the paint and breaking down the defense is such a valuable skill for people to have. And in this case, Lonzo, because when he gets in the paint... That forces the defense to have to react to him because he, even though he can't shoot, when he's in the paint, he becomes such a big threat, even though he's not finishing well at the rim yet. He loves the left hand, but he becomes such a threat at the rim that forces the defense to scramble. He took 4 guys, I think it was, with him and left Brandon Ingram.
At the rim. This is news to me.
Well, everybody's a threat at the rim.
Yeah, but I think a guy could pick him. I mean, it was 3 guys went to Zoe and collapsed.
Exactly. I think it was actually, it may have been 4, but this is why it's so powerful having a guy. And then you and I, as we were sitting here in the underground tonight, watching the end of the Rockets and Portland game. This is why guys that can consistently get in the paint are so valuable on offense. James Harden, I think he had 48 tonight. Jordan Clarkson is and we're going to talk about this later. Brandon Ingram has become that dude for the Lakers. For a long time, even in college, as he was scouted in college, we worried about his handle and if he was going to be able to consistently beat people off the bounce and get in the lane. And he has become a guy that can beat his guy off the dribble. He's really good. He's become good because he's a competent three-point shooter. He's become really good at attacking closeouts. But when you get in the lane, if you get in the paint, as Lonzo did to end that 76ers game, it causes so much stress on the defense. Guys have to cover and get in rotations, and it causes the defense to break, and it's what happened against the 76ers, and it got Brandon Ingram that game-winning three.
Lakers beat the Sixers 107-104 at the buzzer, essentially, 0.8 left in that game. 110-99, they beat the Charlotte Hornets on Saturday night. By
the way, I love it when we do as we record this. So tonight we were recording this.
On Saturday night.
Yes.
So you're actually listening to this.
You're going to listen to it tomorrow.
If you don't believe in time travel, this is the definition of.
I do believe. I don't.
Not you, them.
Yeah.
If you don't think the Lonzo Ball bust talk has to stop. It doesn't have to stop.
Well, it's
it
silly.
gives us something to do. Look at the play when he kicked it out to Brandon Ingram in Philadelphia. That was a rocking house. The stars were out. And this is a new rivalry.
And they were booing him every single time he touched the ball.
There were actually 4 guys making their way towards Lonzo Ball coming baseline that didn't care who they were. They didn't have to care about Larry Nance, maybe. He's not really going to hit.
But they were worried about Lonzo in that situation.
That's not a bust. A bust doesn't get 4 guys. Tyler Ulis ain't getting 4 dudes rolling towards him. And nobody says Tyler Ulis I know he wasn't. But he was picked second. Well, you either stink or you don't. He doesn't stink at all. Yeah. His shot stinks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's the same.
Let's go live to Alonzo. Alonzo?
Yes, that's one of your favorites.
Let's go live to Lonzo Ball's actual 3-point shot. This is one of the ones he misses, Aaron, when he goes really deep and he misses off to the right. Lonzo Ball for 3. You guys are better than a sound machine.
That didn't sound good.
Gloria Estefan, what are you doing?
Miami Sound Machine, yes. Well, we'll get into Lonzo a little bit more later, but for everybody,
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
We got games today. We also
do.
Got BS headlines.
But it's very interesting because I don't want to say it like this, but the motion of his shot is kind of reminiscent of a slingshot. Because it travels right to left.
Slingshot is true.
Well, all right. Yeah,
It's a jump ball.
It's kind of a little rotation of the Earth, kind of on the wrong axis, but
like Kenny Smith.
It's not because there's so much movement. It's not repeatable, and you'll notice, Laker fans, as you're listening to this, when you watch him, notice how Lonzo, when he gets to the rim, loves to finish with the left as opposed to the right, but he also is much more comfortable going to the left because of the motion of his shot.
That's really weird. For a righty to be that comfortable going left, to prefer his left.
Yeah, I mean, most
in the paint for a layup, he'll switch
especially in the paint. Yeah, most guys prefer one hand or the other, but for most guys, if you're a righty, you prefer the right hand. If you're a lefty, you prefer the left hand.
You mean all?
Pretty much everybody.
Julius Randle, if he could go to his right the way Zoe goes,
he'd be an all-star.
All right, Philadelphia 107-104. Charlotte, which we wrapped up earlier to the East Coast game, caught me by surprise. They come back from a wrestling tournament. 5 medals, y'all. What's up?
Shout out Crespi Wrestling.
Crespi Athletics. Way to go, Liam Taylor, Mitch, Jonathan, and I am forgetting Michael Shirley.
Good. He's going to be very thrilled to know that you didn't forget him, so it's okay.
These guys don't know what I do. They don't know that I'm a media
You're telling
baller.
me they do not listen to America's Lakers podcast?
Well, maybe their dads do. But I'll tell you this much. What I love about this is we're 2-0 on a road trip. You and I.
Yes, you and
I'm gonna get back to the Lakers.
We're each 1-0.
We're crushing.
Which one did you win and which one did I win?
It's a home and away. Don't matter.
All right.
All right. You dealer's
or
choice.
are we doing like the European soccer? We do the aggregate score. We have to play both places. That's terrible. Back to the Lakers. It's terrible. I don't want to talk about the soccer.
No, I don't either. I don't like soccer.
Why?
Because it's like 1-0, 2-1, 1-0. If you pull the goalies, it's 11-10.
Yes, it is.
I didn't know that was that funny.
Yeah, it is funny. And you're right. Yeah, it is funny and you're right.
They're playing with cohesion. They seem to be playing these two games. And when you're up 2-0 to start a road trip, that's going to be very difficult very quickly. The Knicks are not going to be easy with the unicorn out there, the Sears catalog.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah. That'll be a big party at the Garden. But it's going to be a party at the Garden because the Lakers and Lonzo Ball are coming to town, furthering the not a bust. And they will boo. I've been at many a game. We'll boo a guy.
Yeah, I mean, part of it in Philly was the kind of Twitter, should we call it Twitter beef? We've talked about it before on this podcast. Joel Embiid is one of the funnier guys in the NBA on Twitter. He's a great social media follow. But he got into it with LeVar a little bit in the offseason and included Ben Simmons and Lonzo. So the Philly fans...
Bill Simmons got in, Richard Simmons.
All the Simmonses. Yes. So I think that's what got the Philly fans to boo Lonzo. But you always talk about this. This goes back to Reggie Jackson, not the former Oklahoma City and now Detroit Pistons point guard.
The real one.
Exactly. The Yankee and California Angel and Oakland Athletic, et cetera, et cetera.
Oriole.
The Baltimore Oriole, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. You always talk about they don't boo nobodies.
Fans don't boo nobodies, man. You can't... Nobody's booing.
Right, Zubac's not getting booed by the Philly fans.
Robertson ain't getting booed.
No,
maybe whatever. But the cohesion, I think, is Luke. The rotations that we've been, we were critical. It was a critical thing. There is a rhythm to the rotations now.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah.
When I know that Bogut's coming in to hack Embiid for a while, so somebody can get a little bit of a rest. And I think that is an enormous stone, pushed from the tomb, Bible reference.
Yeah, good. And it's important to kind of piggyback on your point. It's important to differentiate between...
you know what?
We're getting booed? I'm getting booed?
You're somebody, baby.
Oh, all right, that feels good. It's important to differentiate between guys knowing their role and not having a rotation. Meaning, sometimes we think when the rotations... differ a little bit that guys don't know their role, and that's not necessarily true. It seems like Luke has established roles for guys, even though sometimes guys play in different scenarios. It's kind of, there's some nuance there, but it's important to understand the difference. You can know your role.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you can know
I know for the first time, you and me speaking tonight,
yeah.
I just cut you off. So if you
That's okay. No, go ahead.
I know pretty much what I think every guy's role is, and they're on the same page.
And you've talked about perhaps an exercise that would benefit the Lakers is having Luke kind of give guys, take an index card for each guy, all 15 guys on the roster, and say, this is what you do, and give it to the guys and have them write their own roles and then see which ones match up. You can give guys can have roles even though the minutes are not always the same in the same scenarios because each game is a different environment. So, for example, Lonzo didn't play in the fourth quarter tonight at all. Luke was asked some questions about that, but Lonzo didn't play in the fourth quarter tonight at all. It doesn't mean his role is not as a closer because he closed the game against Philly. Yeah. He got Brandon Ingram that bucket against Philly that won the game.
What a dime. He had some skip passes in that game too. And the only reason Luke was asked that was because of LeVar. So now we are seeing the manifestation of it becoming a problem. I don't want to make a meal out of it right now. I don't really want to talk about it now because I want to talk Lakers. I know pretty much, I think the only cards that wouldn't match on the Lakers, if Luke wrote in 2 sentences or less what a guy's role is, and the players did the same, and you want to see if they match, who do you think doesn't match? The first name that I got is Clarkson.
The first name I would say is...
I don't know what my role is, bro.
The first one I would say is Julius Randle. Because that goes back to training camp.
But we've spoken at length about Luke telling him you're going to play at a higher level than everybody else. And when you get tired, you're coming out. So if they had, has conveyed that to him.
Sure, but I'm not sure that Julius has internalized that yet. Because I think Julius would like to start. I think Julius views himself as a starter.
You can't have soccer hair if you
he does. The Didier Drogba hair, yeah. You like that? You like that reference? But I think Clarkson's probably second on that list. I mean, because you and I sit at games together, and you have chronicled here as quite the journalism professional.
Why the F am I here, screaming at his coach? Yeah. But Luke doesn't talk back. Van Gundy would have a headlock.
Yes.
The hedgehog. Let's listen to our sponsors right here. Don't fast forward. It's a quick one, and I'm going to tell you guys why the Knicks, let's hope it's a small forward party. Here's this. BET, DSI, Bet DSI. It's been in business for 20 years. And you know what I love about Bet DSI is they pay winners. Aaron and I know this firsthand.
We do.
A+ rated on sportsbook review sites. That means they don't dip to a B+ ever or B-. It's A+.
Across the board.
Biznord. Bet DSI offers. That's me trying to sound down.
You did.
Hey, homie.
You did.
What's across the Biznord hats?
Just like we're down with Bet DSI.
Bet DSI. They got odds on pretty much everything else, including football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Who's going to win the MVP? Rookie of the year, over-unders. The promo code is Lakers25 because you get a free $25 wager on the house. 200% extra bonus when you deposit. BetDSI.com. Lakers podcast. Jay Mohr, Aaron Larsoul, Corey Fry up in where I just was at a wrestling tournament, Thousand Oaks.
Fry, 42.
If this sounds crummy, it's not her fault. It's not Fry 42.
This is not going to sound crummy. This is going to sound as wonderful as all of our other productions.
Mellifluous?
I don't know what that means, but yes.
It means how we want it to sound.
Well, it's going to sound mellifluous.
Vin Scully had a mellifluous voice.
Well, that's how this is going to sound.
Word.
It is. I'm upset with myself. I didn't know it until now.
Here's a huge upswing for the Lakers. And I said the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. They can make the playoffs. They're shooting 32%, 31.9 from 3. I don't know if it's statistically possible to play a season and finish at that number. So if it
well,
goes,
we're seeing so far, at least. Obviously, this is still like this is still kind of. You know what? I was gonna say this is still small sample size time, but I think, to be honest, we've probably gotten past the small sample size, especially because going into the year in our first podcast, you and I talked about that I was worried that the Lakers weren't going to be able to shoot. And that has borne out because it's not just
spend $17 million for KCP if he's not going to hit at 40%. Why not bring in two dudes?
Because KCP does some other things. KCP hasn't.
I know that.
He hasn't been great. Let's be honest. He hasn't been great so far this year, but he does some other things.
Certainly.
Yeah, he's been good, but he hasn't. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's a decent 3-point shooter. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's been fine. He's been a really good defensive player. He's been good on the perimeter, and that is something that has plagued the Lakers. I think, to be honest with you, I think KCP is probably most singularly responsible for the defense being good this year. Not okay, not decent,
absolutely.
Really good this year, and it
Absolutely
hasn't
agree.
been in the previous 3 or 4 years. I think he is, if you're going to look at one factor why the Lakers defense has improved so much, I think it's KCP. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's an adequate 3-point shooter. He's a fantastic defentive player.
Like, I used to think Amon Shumpert was a very good perimeter defender.
Amon Shumpert's
He's
fine.
A good one. KCP has proven his defense is contagious. So if they finish the season at it's like carrots for a diamond, or like $1 million to $2 million is way harder than just getting that
each
first.
one. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right. Yes,
The
increase is exponential.
Right. So if you spend $100,000 for I don't know why you spend that much on one carrot. It's not $100,000 for the second carrot. It's like $300,000. It's very hard.
Yes.
So if they finish at 35%, that's still very low. But that's
35. Going into right now, as we talk, 35% on threes would put you at 25th in the league.
But that's going to win you a lot more games than 31.
Yeah, an extra 4%.
How do you figure? I sound like a jerk.
You're right, dumb guy. Is that the right time for me to use dumb guy? Yes.
As long as you say
you're
dumb
right.
guy, you can use it whenever you want.
Shooting 4% better from 3 over the course of the rest of the season would be a huge improvement and will win the Lakers multiple games. Yes.
I like that the Lakers are fixing quickly, is something you and I came up with in a quick expression. Fixing quickly. The free throws were atrocious all season. However, against Philadelphia...
Yeah, 12 of 24 against Philly.
It's not a buzzer. It's not a 0.8 seconds left shot to win it if they hit their free throws. 50%. 71% is still really low. But to turn it around immediately, specifically Brandon Ingram... to shoot 50%, which is inexcusable.
Yeah, I think it was 5 of 10 against Philly, and turned that around tonight. It was much better tonight.
Yeah, 71% tonight. Missing free throws, is that like guys, their minds racing at the line? Because you did analytics.
Yes.
Analytics.
Yeah,
Twicky, is he ever wrong?
No.
Free throws is one of those things that's different for different people, but because there isn't the rhythm of the game, you're in the flow, you're dribbling the ball, there's other defenders, you're kind of in the rhythm of shooting it. Free throws is one of those things where, because it's just you free throws are more like golf, like a golf shot. Because it's just you and the rim and there's nobody guarding you and it's the same every time, it is more a thing that is you against the rim. It is you with the ball. It is you doing it on your own. There's nothing that influences it. Guys don't care. The fans are in the back beating the thunder sticks together. Guys don't care about that. They don't notice that. But it is probably the biggest place in NBA basketball where guys get in their own head. A lot of guys, even guys like Shaq, guys that aren't any good at it. DeAndre Jordan's been terrible. Andre Drummond, who's a lot better this year, has been terrible his whole career. They all care. Shaq used to always say, "I don't care. I make them when it counts." Guys do care because they're embarrassed.
Yeah,
because it's only you. There's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing else to look at. It's only you. So that's the one place where guys can really get in their own heads about it, and it's also interesting because it makes, as we talked about, it makes such a big difference in wins and losses. Free throws do, but there is nothing a defense can do to impact it. So a lot of the best teams in the league from year to year defensively, they are the teams that other guys' free throws don't work. Other guys don't shoot well on free throws, and it doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do about it. It's pure luck.
Another quick fix was a go-to guy. Brandon Ingram being that go-to guy against the 76ers. You can't have two go-to guys, but if you need to kick one out to Kyle Kuzma, he'll make you pay. Clarkson will make you pay. He was on the floor in the fourth quarter a lot. That was
tonight.
Fantastic development.
He was great. I think he had 14 of his 22 points in the fourth quarter tonight, and barely played. I don't think he played 14 minutes against Philly. And that is something that's interesting. We said guys learn their roles, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the same minutes every night. You can you can have a role, and dependent on the game, it can switch.
But there's no articles about Luke getting the rotation.
I think it was 20. I think it was a 23-6 run by the Lakers in the fourth quarter tonight, and it was largely Jordan Clarkson. I think, as I said, he had 14 in the fourth quarter tonight.
There's no headline saying Luke Walton gets rotations right and the team's playing well. Looking ahead to the New York Knicks, this is an entirely winnable game. Let's hope it's a small forward battle.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks lost to the Bulls tonight, who are, as you say, deplorable.
Yeah, anybody can lose to anybody, so I'm not, it's not
sure, that's
deductive
that's true.
Mathematics.
On any
Jared
given Sunday,
Jack
we're going
and yeah, it's a game of inches and we fight.
By the way, that's a great speech.
I hate it.
Okay, cool.
I like the Miracle speech. Al Pacino doing the speech for Miracle. If we play
Miracle.
them 10 times, they beat us 9. Not tonight. Tonight is your night. I'm sick of hearing about. All right.
I'm sad you don't like the Any Given Sunday speech, but we'll.
I also know
later.
Al, as you know, I know.
Yeah,
Al
yeah,
and I
you
are
do.
friends.
Yes,
I know he doesn't even know what shape of football is. He has no idea. He's just memorizing lines. It's like that speech to him was just stuff.
In my soul, I think he ad-libbed that because he actually coached high school football once or something like that. But that's not.
I did.
That's not real.
High school. Jared Jack and Frank
Ntilikina.
Yeah. This is an enormous advantage for our Lakers.
Yes, the Lakers have better lead guards than the Knicks. Yes.
Courtney Lee, KCP, Clarkson. Clarkson is both.
That's probably a Laker advantage.
I'll put Josh Hart in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, I think he played 14 minutes tonight. Josh Hart has been very competent when he sees time. He's been very competent.
About the threes, I like that guys are taking less. Ingram will go 0 for 1, and he's like, not tonight. Or guys, like, it used to be like Zoe would take 8 threes. It's like, yeah, they're not going.
Well, there's something to, as we've kind of been highlighting in this episode, guys having an understanding of their role. Right. You have an understanding of your role, which means you also hopefully have an understanding of your Kaiser roles, which are delicious. You have an understanding of your game, right? And an understanding that if I do what I'm supposed to do in the flow of the game, that doesn't mean I'm going to get pulled, right? If I make a mistake, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get pulled. They have that trust in Luke. And also, guys are...
And vice versa.
Exactly. Really you're right. You're
Luke doesn't pull guys after turnover. I don't like that stuff. Like, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want guys...
I coach 14-year-old wrestlers that just fall on their backs, and I'm not like, all right, you're not wrestling anymore.
Get pinned immediately?
There's a couple. And
we're not going to give those names.
No, and that's exactly how they practice. And I try to help them the best I can. The Knicks. Let's hope this is a small forward party because Cantor Lopez. I'll say Cantor is the advantage there. It's a push. Small forward. You got three guys that really shouldn't be in the NBA right now. You got Lance Thomas, who I believe was on That's Incredible with Sarah Purcell and Dave, whatever his name, Byron Allen.
He may be the least notable. He's
playing out of position too.
Yeah, I mean he's more of a power forward. He may be the least notable starter in the NBA presently.
Michael Beasley, who I thought was out of basketball, Gilbert Arenas style.
And Beasley has actually been pretty good.
He's been very good.
I mean, I think he shot over 50% the last 3 years, and everybody thinks that Michael Beasley's washed out and a nobody.
Maybe it's because he's just doughy.
Michael Beasley can still get buckets.
Well, 9 points a night is sure. And Dougie McBuckets doesn't really get you buckets.
Not a lot.
So I put those three clowns against Ingram and Kuz and Brewer defending. I think
the Lakers have a better roster than the Knicks, save for the best player in the game will be Kristaps Porzingis.
Watch your mouth, Mr. Harden. There are baby birds that live in James Harden's beard.
Yes, there are.
What'd you say? His beard looks like it smells like corn.
Smells like corn chips and feet.
And I said corn feet and chips, man. Or chips.
Yes.
Porzingis
is the best player in the game.
This is going to be one of the most fascinating matchups because Porzingis, look, he had 23 points tonight, Saturday night.
Yeah, they lost to the Bulls.
Against a bad Bulls team without a real Laurie Markkinen.
Larry Markkinen
is not a guy that should be shutting Kristaps. He didn't shut him down.
No.
23 is like, okay.
No, that's not a lot for Porzingis.
If Kristaps Porzingis gets 23 points against the Lakers, we should win this game by 10 points.
Correct. What you have to worry about is Kristaps going for 40. What's really interesting about Kristaps is the Knicks are trying to figure out. He wants to play power forward. I think his best position is center, but the Knicks. But he wants to play power forward. So the Knicks are kind of trying to figure out where to put him. So the strange thing though is he's 7'3". And in their game against Cleveland the other day, they kept trying to post him up. And this is something, because it's a similar body type that the Lakers can look at, the Cavs put LeBron on him. And LeBron just has a low center of gravity and is a strong dude like Julius is and got into his body. And for some reason, the Knicks kept trying to post Porzingis because he's 7'3", and he couldn't do anything against LeBron. He has trouble.
Phil there? That's some weird Phil business.
I don't know. I don't know if Phil was there or not.
But what you just
so
said
this is something for the. But I mean, look,
LeBron
Julius is not.
Julius will do.
Yeah, if you get into his body with a low center of gravity and push him off the block and push him, Porzingis struggles with that. Hopefully for the Lakers, the Knicks will continue to try to put. Look, Julius Randle is not the defender LeBron is, but they're like kind of 6'8", 6'9", big guys, strong guys, low center of gravity, and Porzingis struggles against those guys in the post. So if they try to post Porzingis against Randle, I think the Lakers will. Here's what I'll say. I think Julius Randle will do a better job guarding Porzingis in the post than Brook Lopez does.
I agree with that entirely. And I'm also going to say you just want him to miss like 2 threes that he normally would make, and you're in it. Because from three-point land, he'll.
Yeah, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is a great player. If you can hold Porzingis like he had tonight, 23, 25, the Knicks don't have a lot of other options on offense. So if you can, Cantor's a good offensive player, but if you can hold Kristaps to 23, 25, somewhere in that neighborhood, I think the Lakers win pretty easily.
I told you before this road trip started, I'm cool. We're going to do fine.
You did say that. I was a non-believer, but you did say that, and you have proven to be correct in this regard.
2-0, we're playing with house money here, the Knicks, and then it gets crazy. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, it's Knicks and then at Cleveland to end the road trip.
That's going to be interesting. J.R. Smith, who just passed Kobe Bryant on 3 points made?
Yes.
That's not right. J.R. Smith. And I like J.R.
J.R. Smith shoots a lot of them.
Yeah, well, not with the Cavs. That's what's amazing. Like, he'd go 0 for 4 or 2 for 4. He'd only take 4 shots. I think Tyronn Lue, if you don't know or don't think he's a good coach and you think LeBron just has a puppet, that's not true. He told LeBron shut the F up in a huddle on national television. It was a big deal. And the fact that he got J.R. Smith to only take 4 shots, J.R. Smith taking only 4 shots, when he had the flu And it was like 4 shots from J.R. Smith is like impossible. So it's odd he passes one of the greatest players of all time. The New York Knicks, let's kick their butts. Julius Randle's defense in these past 2 games has been beyond admirable.
Yeah, he did. You talked about
he was a better defender this year across the board. His defensive rating, you pointed out a while ago, was like, wow.
Yeah, he's been a net positive on defense. Obviously, he's one of the better offensive players on the Lakers, possibly the best offensive, and his defense has also been a net positive this year, as it has not been in the past. But he's been a good defensive player this year.
Next episode, we're going to break down the West and why the Lakers absolutely can make the playoffs.
Yeah, the West playoffs. We're going to
the top 8 teams, 3 teams are not going to be there, and we'll tell you that next episode of America's Lakers podcast. We got some games to play.
All right, let's play games.
And then also in the next episode, I'm going to tell you exactly how the Lakers re-signed Julius Randle and bring in a Paul George or a Boogie Cousins or a LeBron James, and I got all the numbers down. I'm not Bobby Marks. I'm not a cap genius like Bobby Marks. But I can figure it out.
One of these days, I'm going to tell my Shaq story too. I think maybe we just keep teasing it
4 times.
I think we just
Matt
keep
Damon.
I think we just keep teasing it.
Matt Damon, we have to bump again this episode. And our apologies go out to Olden Polonese. He can't. He's coming on, by the way.
Okay,
Big O's going to come on and talk to
I like
us
Olden.
about specifically the big men
I like
on
Olden.
the Lakers. Listen to this word from our sponsors, and we're going to play Instadam, and then we're going to go through our fake headlines, which are real headlines, but they're just absurd. The Lakers gossip and mayhem and rumor, follow them, and I'm going to weed and walk
There's
you
gossip
through it.
and mayhem in Los Angeles?
My first 10 years in Hollywood. Listen to these fine words.
Podcast One has new shows on our new app. Check out all the cool features to help you explore our exciting new programming, like America's Lakers podcast with Jay Mohr, Sessions with Randy Jackson, So Random with Corinne Olympios, Attack Each Day, The Harbaugh's podcast, Not Just Sports with Susie Schuster and Rich Eisen, and Sound of Success, the Dick Enberg podcast, as well as your old favorites like The Lady Gang, Steve Austin, Shaquille O'Neal, and Adam Carolla. Get the new Podcast One app in the App Store, Google Play, or podcastone.com.
This holiday, switch to Cricket Wireless and get a free LG Fortune with no annual contract.
Switch to Cricket. Switch to Cricket. A free smartphone is free. Free smartphone, really free.
Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
Requires number ported and service activation minimum $30 per month. First month service charge and in-store activation fee up to $25 due at sale. Tax and restrictions apply. One-time fees may apply. See store for details.
America's Lakers podcast. Jay Mohr, Aaron Lars Sewell. Apologies to Olden Polonese. We're not going to be able to get to him tonight. Big O, I guess that's his car. There's okay. I didn't know he was going to just drive off. That was odd.
All right.
That's a nice whip, man.
Yeah, it is. I guess we'll get to him next time.
Great dude, too.
He is a great dude, yeah.
Let's play a game.
By the way, traded for, you know who he was traded for? He was traded for one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history.
One of the ones like Cowens?
No, not Dave
don't
Cowens.
belong in the list?
Not Dave
Bill
Cowens.
Walton?
He belongs on the list. He was Michael Jordan's teammate. No, the guy he was traded for.
Scotty?
He was traded for Scottie Pippen.
Scotty really belong on that list?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Malibu Fair over the summer, and I almost had...
By the way, have you seen his wife / ex-wife / maybe still is his wife? I don't know because I don't get into that.
She was there.
He belongs.
She was there.
He belongs on any top 50 greatest list.
You go to these fairs, you're walking around on like hay and straw. Not those two.
Nah, I wouldn't imagine.
It's
Rose
like
petals?
Rose petals, man.
Right. Like Coming to America.
Let's play Instadam. This is the game that sweeps the nation. I'm proud of this game. I'm going to read NBA players' Instagram posts, and Aaron Lars Sewell, multiple choice.
All right.
We'll have to guess which player, or maybe a rapper, or maybe Dane Cook.
Well, when we used to do radio, it was almost always Dane Cook, or Dane Cook was an option always. So is Dane Cook always an option again?
No, he's not in this because I don't want him to ever think
yeah,
I'm making
just
fun of him because I dig Dane a
You
lot.
do. Yeah, Dane's a good dude.
He's funny, man.
He is funny, and we see him when you do some comedy. You do some comedy stuff with him.
If you do, let's see, I got 3 of these.
Okay.
If you get 2 out of 3,
do I get a prize?
I owe you 15 diamond push-ups.
Okay.
Why not more?
A steak dinner? That's what we should bet. We should wager a steak dinner.
That's the thing, guys like you and me. Like it's like, yeah, of course, sure.
Yeah, it is, I know. But that's what everybody says. When they don't actually bet money, it's always a steak dinner.
Those radio guys? Steak dinner on me, everybody. The Hooters girls are up here. They're hot. I like when radio's guys want to tell you how hot the ladies in the studio are.
That you can't see.
Yeah,
Because it's
nice.
radio. Right.
Let's see if Zippy the intern's going to eat vomit out of the trash can. Here they go. 8th caller gets the cheese.
I never liked Zippy.
Zippy the intern, pretty good guy.
So Instadam, if I get 2 out of 3, you got to do some push-ups. Let's get it.
I mean, sure, but that's kind of like a weird deal.
All right.
Right. No, Jimmy Butler, you wasn't ready. That's an Instagram post, and there's a
And by the way,
picture.
you read that with Tracy Morgan voice.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, you wasn't ready, Jimmy Butler. Go back to Marquette one more year. You'll be a lottery pick, Vanderblue. I was thinking of Vander. No, Jimmy Butler, you wasn't ready. It's a picture of Jimmy Butler falling out of a canoe.
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns, Vanderblue, or Chance the Rapper.
I'm going to go with Cat. I'm going to go with Karl Anthony Towns.
You sure?
No, but that's my guess. I'm going with Karl Anthony Towns. Final
Karl
answer.
Anthony Towns.
Oh, look at that.
And there's also a picture of Kevin Hart, a meme with his mouth's open, and they just put, no, you wasn't ready. Like, he didn't say that. Kevin Hart doesn't, that's not in his nomenclature. Can you imagine Kevin Hart going, no, you wasn't ready.
I cannot. So I'm 1 for 1.
All right, there's a picture of somebody with LeVar Ball at Staples.
Okay.
On the court.
Okay.
Had to flick it up with the reel.
All right.
The player says about LeVar
Yeah.
Ball.
Okay, yeah.
John Wall, Boogie Cousins, or Snoop Dogg?
Because he's an LA guy, I'm going Snoop.
That was Boogie. I
Boogie
guess
Cousins,
I just signed
huh?
my ticket into town, Cousins.
Yeah, okay. Boogie Cousins free agent after this year. Okay.
You need this one now, buddy.
I do, or I have to do push-ups.
I won't make you do that. All right, last one. Brought to you from the Museum of Ice Cream. The person's holding a baby.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you looking at my buddy Marcus's Instagram? Marcus Fairley out there. He just went to the museum of. Yeah. Okay. So
We
not Marcus.
lit.
Yeah, Marcus doesn't talk
This
like
guy
that.
and the baby.
Okay.
I mean, it's a beautiful girl baby.
Okay.
I think they call him that. It's a beautiful baby girl. Is
Yeah.
that the way to say it?
Either way, sure.
And it's We Lit. Was
Okay.
that Jordan Clarkson, Brandon Jennings, or Swaggy P?
It's a. I probably should know this, but I don't know if any of them have daughters.
Don't call me daughter. Don't
Yeah.
flirt me.
I am going to go with. You know what's weird? I don't know where I should know this. I don't know where Brandon Jennings is these days.
by
I don't
the
think
way,
he's in the NBA anymore, but I don't know where he is.
A baby and a grown up, We Lit is really funny. And on Halloween, I was pretty proud when Mackie was Meredith was the policeman.
Yeah.
And just like two like princesses, and it was just a weird photo where they're all leaning in. I'm like, lit AF. I sent it to you. It was like
You're such a child.
It was great. I just never. It was like,
You're such a 16-year-old girl.
It looked like a crazy party.
I'm going to go with, just because Brandon Jennings is an LA guy, I'm going to go Brandon Jennings.
Swaggy P.
The Swag, was it his daughter? Does Swag have a daughter? I don't know if Swag has a daughter.
Speaking of Tracy Morgan, I miss my daughter, Jay Moore.
Yeah. It must have been, it must have been when the Warriors were here.
Insta-damn.
I did poorly. I got to do push-ups.
John Wall I thought was a good red herring because of the Wizards
Yes.
actually being in town.
Yes.
All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers, what follows this team everywhere, and get the Podcast One app and listen to us. Please rate and review this podcast.
Yes,
I have
like.
not seen your tweets. Well, you haven't put them up, everybody. And we've tripled our subscriptions.
You told me that earlier today, and I'm very thankful for everybody that has subscribed, and thankful for everybody that rates and reviews and likes and comments and all that.
Is it prescription or subscription?
Norm, I think it's subscription.
Yeah, how about another? Norm Pattis probably has all thousands of them.
I'm sure he does.
Jimmy Butler annoyed with extended minutes under Tom Thibodeau. We're
Yes.
going to get to that next episode.
Okay.
I had this
I'm
on
gonna
the
save it? You
books
want me to save it? No,
for
we'll save
this
it.
one. It's, you're talking about 38 minutes to 40 minutes. Like, come on.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
What, 38 ain't?
No, 38's a lot.
That's what he did in Chicago. That's why he went
Well-
over there. Because maybe if I go to Minnesota, play 38.
I mean, we're going to talk about this later, but most of his time in Chicago was under Tom Thibodeau.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he was all right with it. And that's why he went, you know,
Well-
the wheels are going to fall off somebody there, and it's not going to be pretty.
We'll save it for next episode.
The Kobe headline, which is garbage and just terrible reporting, and that is Kobe Bryant, basically throws shade at Lonzo Ball, saying Lonzo Ball has to get better right now. And then when you read the article, Aaron,
Yes.
he said they asked him about Lonzo Ball and his progression as a player, and Kobe says, well, he has to get better right now. Kuzma has to get better right now. Julius Randle has to get better right now because
Sure.
if you want to be great, you cannot have patience. That's the article. That's Kobe. That's the Mamba. It wasn't a Lonzo Ball thing, and it's very.
By the way, good for you getting away with a Lonzo Ball thing. It wasn't a Lonzo.
no.
I love that.
Laval.
Well, if you look at the headlines, right, I just pulled it up on my computer presently.
How do you get Wi-Fi in the underground? Good for you,
If
kiddo.
you,
Good for you, kiddo.
If you pull up the headline, it says Kobe Bryant on Lonzo Ball, quote, he needs to get better now.
And that makes you click because you're like,
Of course.
oh, damn, it's on now.
Of
the
course.
greatest player, one
right.
of the greatest players of all
one of the
time.
greatest Lakers of all time, whose number
Greatest
is going to
period.
be retired here in a couple weeks. I think next week, actually. Taking a shot.
I don't think Shaq's too happy about that. 2 numbers. In fact, I know he isn't because he told me.
Hey, JJ, how do you know that Shaq's not, why do you suppose Shaq's not happy about that? Well, because he told you.
He said, how do you feel about them doing 2 numbers?
I'm not going to lie, I think it's
don't know-
weird. I think it's weird too, but I'm not going to lie.
I don't know why I
but
was looking Forrest Whitaker for Shaq. How
You're
do you
doing like
feel-
a fake Shaq voice.
Forrest Whitaker would say, how do you feel about them retiring 2 numbers for Kobe Bryant, 24 and 8? I think they should put both numbers in the floor, 24 on one and 8 on the other. Like
Oh.
let these kids know, like there's
The problem
greatness
is
here.
if you put it up
Just
on
for
like
your-
one jersey, then it looks like a
You can't-
fraction.
No, it's going to be 2 jerseys. It
Right,
has to be 2
then it
jerseys.
looks like a fraction and should be 1/3.
I think it's going to be 2 jerseys, one next to Pincus, his one next to Taylor
Taylor Swift.
She actually has a banner.
She does have more
That
banners
is-
up than the Clippers.
Love that.
That's
Stupid Clippers.
That's our buddy Sammy Batesh. That he noticed that
Disco hips.
because he went disco hips because he actually went to a Taylor Swift concert, which is another problem entirely.
What Kobe said is brilliant. If you want
he's
to be
right.
great,
Yeah.
you don't have the luxury of patience. And it goes back to what you and I keep saying on America's Lakers podcast. Your best players have to play better more often. And right now they are. Don't let 12 points fool you. Julius Randle is perfect.
Yeah, I mean this is
When
this
you're
is
like, I'm sorry.
Finish. Go
When
ahead.
you're 5 for 7 and you have 7 boards and you block 2 shots and get a steal and then you go sit down, like, thank you. That's cool.
right. These are things because people and you and I, as we do this podcast, we try to educate people on some of the finer points of stuff, but people still make the mistake of, one, eliminating defense entirely from their minds, and 2, just going by, hey, this person scored this many points, had this many rebounds, had this many assists, and that's all they look at. There's so much nuance involved that you have to take these other things into account. And we've been talking about
2
Lonzo.
steals on Embiid.
Lonzo, he can't, how ordinary or bad Lonzo is. It simply isn't true. Lonzo's been terrible shooting the ball from everywhere. Fine. But there are
Everything
lots
else.
of... Right, exactly. I mean, if you look at the Philly game we've been talking about all day, he only had 10 points. Okay, Lonzo was bad. He was 5 for 11. Okay, that's fine. But he had
40%.
He had 4 blocks and 3 steals and 8 rebounds. I mean, like
those
there's
were big blocks.
there's so many other ways that you can affect a basketball game positively,
Yeah.
other than just shooting the ball.
I don't have a problem with Lonzo Ball. I mean, I want him to shoot better.
Yeah, I mean he needs.
But
to
the
shoot
last
better.
2 games, I went, this is working.
Well, he also, as we watched the game tonight, he started the game incredibly aggressive, and that does. Magical is not the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway. That does magical things for the Lakers.
You guys are magical.
I in the middle of saying that because of who the president is, I didn't want to say magical because I don't want to associate it with magic. But Lonzo being very aggressive this is a word I use a lot. It unlocks so much stuff because it makes you, if you're being aggressive, it makes the defense have to worry about you.
Why does that aggression stop? It seems like he starts, the last 2 games, he started so aggressive. And those
Yes.
blocks, by the way, where this ball is going to go in blocks.
And last I checked,
They don't win the game without one of them.
no, without Lonzo's defense and the hand. Lonzo's feet need some work. His footwork is not
bunions?
great. He probably does.
Okay.
Well, and you have no business talking about anybody's feet.
What the hell did you just say?
Lonzo has great hands. The steals, the blocks, those things, the deflections, those things matter. Look, Lonzo needs to shoot better. Nobody's going to tell you otherwise, but he is finding ways to impact the game. To answer your question about his aggressiveness, I don't know. It's something that concerns me. I don't know because
into a fight. I need him to throw a bow. I need him, like the hack of Shaq stuff. I thought if Shaq just turns and punches somebody in the face, yeah, he'll be suspended for 2 weeks. Yeah, he'll kill the guy.
Right.
He might do 2 years. But you know what? He'll be back, rested.
So
His knees won't hurt him.
This is
no one will foul him ever again.
This is something that I used to talk about. When guys get a reputation for being soft, it affects them. It affects the fouls that they don't get called. And guys will try them. Guys will try to punk them. The biggest example for me in the recent past is Blake Griffin. Because everybody thinks he's a punk, everybody tries him. Guys bump him. He whines so much that the officials get tired of him. And guys will take liberties with him because they think he's a punk. They don't think he's tough. And so he gets intimidated by guys. We've all thought that, not you and I, but guys that I talk to, and even NBA guys, that one time Blake needs to go off on somebody if he's capable of doing so. Blake needs to go off on somebody just because it will. Yeah, but the guy was smaller than you. Yeah,
and he got fired.
Right. Yeah. So
how does an assistant trainer get fired? Well, I digress.
Yes.
On television, the assistant trainer is taping up Blake Griffin, and Blake Griffin takes his hand, which is mammoth, and pushes the guy's.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a.
And
weird
they fire
thing.
that guy's got a $500 million lawsuit. He's an idiot.
That was a weird thing. But what I'm saying is I agree with you. Guys that get a reputation for being soft, they
hired him just to do it again.
They need to. I think it would behoove a lot of these guys, as you were saying with Shaq, to just show that we're not doing this anymore.
And
if you have to sit out a game or two, fine.
Yeah, nobody's calling Lonzo soft. I get your point entirely.
And even today, especially, Lonzo at the beginning of the game was right into Kemba. It was like he had a personal challenge against Kemba Walker, who's a really good player. He was going right into his chest.
How's he going to do against Kemba? I'm like, John Wall, Bradley Beal,
right.
DeMar DeRozan.
I mean,
what are you talking? Who cares? Larry Nance Jr., 16 minutes against the Hornets, 3 for 7, 1 rebound, a steal, 4 fouls, a -10. He's the only guy in the minus. 6 points. Why is... Look, I know he's supposed to be the better defender. I'm going to say this definitively. He is not a better defender than Julius Randle. Julius Randle gives you more points. He can guard Embiid, sort of. Nobody can. But is there... And I'm all set with these lineups, and I know the roles, and I'm happy about them.
Yep.
But this is like this is like slamming your thumb in a car door, and it looks different the rest of your life. Like, one of these kids is not like the other. Remember that old Sesame Street song?
Yeah, one of these, whatever, not like the other.
Why I don't everybody wishes Randle would start except the guy that makes the lineup card and he knows more about basketball.
Except as John Ireland told us early in our podcast, in this season's podcast, they want Randle to be that energy guy and think that.
Let's get a nice lead. Let's cush. Let's cruise and cush.
I don't disagree with you, but at least because of what John told us, and then you and I have spoken about it with other people, I don't disagree with you, but at least there's a plan. Like, I'm okay because there seems like there's a plan in place.
I just realized it actually is all making sense to me at once because if your second unit is Lonzo, if you start Clarkson and Randall instead of Nance and Zoe,
they're gonna have trouble. The second unit's gonna have trouble scoring.
Bench, let's call it the bench.
The bench is gonna have the guys that come in after the starters. How about
that? You have Lonzo, and then you got Corey Brewer, and Kuzma's fine, and I don't want Larry Nance and Zoe on the floor at the same time, particularly. But you know what?
Well, they're starting presently, so.
And we are always behind early, with the exception of Charlotte.
The starters have been and Philly, they were okay to start the game in Philly, but the starters have been, the starters haven't been great as a unit.
Ready for a great headline?
I am.
This is an actual headline.
Okay.
Where did I get it? Not for the win. It was
I don't know.
The big. It doesn't. LeBron James wants to sign in Los Angeles so he can play with Nerlens Noel. No, he doesn't.
He may want to sign in L.A., but it's wherever he signs, it's not to play with Nerlens Noel.
Do they know each other?
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Not like Instagram, like, hey, what's up?
No, I'm sure they. I mean, the NBA is a pretty small fraternity, so all the guys know each other. They've all played against each other.
So you can write that article and insert name here until July.
Well, sure, but I mean, there's the reason why it's Nerlens.
Ish.
Yeah, it could be.
As much as that is.
Yeah, I mean,
because
it could
the last line of this article is LeBron James does not, I forget what the exact wordage was, but that's the headline. LeBron James wants to sign with Los Angeles so he can play with Nerlens Noel. No one since high school has said that sentence. Actually, Kentucky.
No, I mean,
tell me he went to Kentucky.
No, yes, Nerlens Noel went to Kentucky. Very good.
But Nerlens Noel is 9. He's got
Nerlens Noel is not enough of a factor in any NBA universe that LeBron is making any decision.
Chris Anderson, 9 and 7.
He's better than Chris Anderson, but yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's better than Birdman. His tattoos aren't better. But
the last line of that article was LeBron James will not sign anywhere because of Nerlens Noel. Then why don't I just read 4 paragraphs of nonsense, you cuckoo-loons?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
Nerlens is really interesting. He's in Dallas now and not playing at all and is having a kind of dubious thumb surgery. The reason why people are connected because it is an injury that lots of guys have played through, and he is getting the surgery because he just isn't playing because Carlisle doesn't like him. But he shares an agent with LeBron, and he is going to Cleveland to get this dubious thumb surgery. So people are kind of, connecting some dots. He's also clearly not going back to Dallas.
Cali.
We might go to Cali.
No.
So I mean, I think it's
boogie.
So I think the point that needs to be made here is that you can attach anybody you want to LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron is not making a decision based on anybody else. LeBron is making his decision based on whatever factors LeBron wants to make his decision on, and then everybody else follows LeBron. It is not like nobody else. LeBron is not considering what anybody else is doing in making his decision.
So he's not a baby.
Oh, LeBron is the magnet.
What are the other 2 guys doing? Like, what happened to the good old days where, no, you'll be better because I'm there?
Yeah, I mean, look, of course, LeBron wants to play with great talent, and whenever he goes somewhere, he starts molding the roster in his image. But LeBron is not going somewhere because Nerlens Noel is going there, or because Boogie Cousins or Paul George or anybody else.
So let that. And by the way, like I said, Julius Randle is a better defender. I'm saying it as I just sounded drunk. I'm saying it as fact.
Okay. Yeah.
Your family was my family. An apology.
Sounds good.
Beats. We need beats. Julius Randle is a better defender right now than Larry Nance. Do you agree? You can disagree with me.
No, I don't disagree with you. He has been.
LeBron James is not coming to Los Angeles. Sorry, he ain't coming.
Well, here's what I'll say. If he comes to Los Angeles, or if he does not come to Los Angeles, it has nothing to do either way with Nerlens Noel.
So you can, is it Nerlens?
Nerlens, yeah.
You can save the click, is what Aaron Larsoul is telling you, friends. You don't have to click on those goofy articles because they're not good articles. This is America's Lakers podcast. We're going to go to Madison Square Garden, and it's going to be a boat race.
Do I need to pack a bag? Are we going?
If I go to New York, I got to see Springsteen on Broadway. Team playing,
just to put
Genie!
Just to put some analytics behind what you're saying, yes, Julius Randle has been, on a per-possession basis, he's been a better defensive player than Larry Nance this year.
Analytics.
101, his defensive rating is 101.4, that's for Randle, and that means
my favorite radio station.
Per 100 possessions, the Lakers give up 101.4 points with Julius Randle on the floor, and it's 103.6 for Larry Nance.
Is that one? I don't know.
Yeah, both of those numbers are decent.
It's a guy. It's a point. Is that a considerable difference?
Yes.
Because we were talking about steals.
No, that's meaningful. Yes.
2 steals is off the charts. 3 steals we've actually never heard.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody averaging 3 steals a game. But that difference is meaningful. But to be fair, both of those numbers are pretty good. But Julius is better.
Things are looking up. They're not going to shoot 31% from 3.
Let's hope not
for another month.
Let's hope not.
Do, you'll see some moving and shaking. You will, because it's not sustainable. This team is good enough, and why go to the 8? Why go to the playoffs? You're not going to beat the Warriors. Because if I go to the playoffs, I get all the local money for the first couple of games.
Yeah, you get the TV money, plus you get all the gate. Yeah, you get the gate. No, but in this case, but in this case specifically, because
it's the biggest TV money on earth.
Yes, but in this case specifically, the Lakers don't have their the Lakers don't have their first round pick anyway. So there's no reason to try to get in the lottery. You win every game you can win.
I think
go
that's
to the playoffs.
A good thing. Like, that's a stroke of bad luck. Some people might perceive it as, and we can wrap it up here. I think not having a lottery pick is a great stroke of good fortune for this team, for the players.
Well, it doesn't, because I agree with you.
Players don't tank.
Correct. Organizations tank, players don't. But this is also, it's a crystallizing force. It is a thing that, there's no serving two masters. There's no having your feet in two different camps. There's no place here where the Lakers are trying to figure out what to do. The Lakers should be and are trying to win every single game possible. That has not always been true for the Lakers. It hasn't always been true for all these other teams. But the Lakers have no reason not to. So there is a singular, direct focus on trying to win as many games as possible. And that's not true in other places in the NBA.
Is Lonzo Ball a bust?
No.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
What's Fultz's first name?
Markelle.
I've had a little too much powdered sugar on my pancakes.
Yeah.
Here. That sounded like cocaine. Yeah. I sat on my reading glasses, so I can't really hear well. Markelle Fultz is not playing.
Correct. He's played 3 or 4 games.
The game. Zoe's playing.
Well, I think it's too early to say anything definitive about any of the rookies.
I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying any of these guys. I'm with you.
Right.
So Lonzo Ball is 6th in the NBA in assists, which is his job as a point guard.
Certainly helps.
3rd pick, let's just forget it exists. De'Aaron Fox is playing good. The numbers with Lonzo aren't almost identical. The shooting percentage is higher.
Better. He's been much better than De'Aaron Fox. Lonzo has been much better.
If you tweet that, I want you to tweet that tonight.
Okay.
And watch the vitriol that comes back at you. Because fans don't boo nobodies. And you know what? When we leave here tonight, Aaron Larson, when we get out of the underground on terra firma, you're going to be just cascading boos. We're going to have to swim through the boos to get our damn private plane flown by a half-dressed Wonder Woman, an invisible. They can still see us in the sky. I never understood the invisible plane that Wonder Woman had, all the way to Madison Square Garden.
By the way, if you were wondering, just as I'm looking at something here about Lonzo, Timofey Mozgov is last in the NBA in assists. If you were
really,
yeah, he's last.
That's so odd. He'd be bad at something.
Yeah, he's just last.
Pretty good sucks, friends. And let me tell you something. There's the gold standard, Aaron, and then
there's the purple and gold standard, and we will try to hit it for you every time we do this.
We will never give. Well, as Buzz Williams would say, we're not sometimey.
We're all-timey, always time-me.
We're very grateful for you guys. Rate, review if you can. Tweet it out. We will both retweet it and tell friends to do so as well. We respect you. We love you. We're not going to waste your time. Happy Sunday, everybody. From Los Angeles, the San Fernando Valley, the 818, Aaron Larsoul, Jay Mohr. We'll see you later.
Thanks for listening to America's Lakers Podcast with Jay Mohr, exclusively on Podcast One Sportsnet. New episodes every Wednesday on PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
How do you gauge the greatness of a Mercedes-Benz SUV? By its ability to carry cargo or to carry on a legacy? Its show of strength or its sign of intelligence? The ability to cross harsh terrain or to break new ground? Or do you gauge greatness by the exceptional offer you got on your Mercedes-Benz SUV? Come in this Thanksgiving week for opportunities abounding. There has never been a better time to obtain greatness than right now. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.